Hi there, Matt here from Three Skulls Tavern, and I'm here to do a short video about some of the changes coming to the channel now that 2022 has arrived, and I'm slowly starting to get into the swing of things again following the birth of my second child. And there are some changes. The first main change that people who've been following the channel will notice is that my public live streams are not going to be happening anymore. There will still be live streams happening, but they're now going to become a Patreon exclusive. I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. But first, what I wanted to talk about is what you as the public will be seeing on this channel going forward. And really the big thing to go with this is that the kind of broadcasting date or day is moving from Sunday to Thursdays. It's still going to be on a nighttime European time, so aiming for 8 p.m. UK. And the idea is that every week there will be actual play content on a Thursday. So what that means exactly is that there will be 2 campaigns running simultaneously. That's the plan. One will be a solo campaign and one will be a GMed campaign. And those will be running pretty much as I hope to do it, non-stop every Thursday. When one solo campaign or one GMed campaign finishes, I will have already started the next one, recording the next one so that we can start the next one after a gap. There might be something like GM interviews or things like that for like 1 week in between, or maybe even some one-shots in between to try and kind of break up the flow a little bit, but that's the idea. The solo campaigns, the format is going to continue like it was with Forbidden Lands solo earlier on the channel, and that's 30-minute-ish episodes. And for the GM'd campaigns, I'm looking to try and shorten them from what they've been previously, and I'm aiming now to do 90-minute episodes for those. So, yeah, if you're only following one of those, just to be extra clear about it, if you're only going to follow one of the actual play campaigns, because there's 2 running simultaneously, you'll have to wait 2 weeks until the next one is out. So basically, every campaign is going to be releasing new content fortnightly. So let me talk very quickly about those 2 campaigns that are coming up. The first one is there's a bit of an elephant in the room here, in that with the solo campaign, I was planning on doing a solo game of the One Ring 2nd Edition using the Strider mode rules that were unlocked as a stretch goal for the recent Kickstarter. Unfortunately, the Strider mode rules aren't out yet, so I can't exactly plan or play using those rules when I don't have them. I still really want to do that, so when the rules are available, that will be the next solo campaign on the channel. However, I have already started doing prep for a solo campaign, and if you look back 2 or 3 episodes, you'll see some content for a zombie apocalypse game using my own Year Zero mini rule set. And in fact, I think 2 episodes prior to this one, there was I called it Session 0 for a solo campaign. So I've already done a little bit of work, quite a bit of work actually, prepping and thinking about how I would run Year Zero Mini solo in a zombie apocalypse setting, kind of themed around the Walking Dead rather than something like Left 4 Dead or something along those lines. So that's coming up, and I'm very excited about it because one of the mechanical tweaks I'm doing to Year Zero Mini is I'm going to be using the Alien Stress dice as the kind of core dice mechanic. I used it in the one shot that I ran with 2 players, and it worked really, really well. So that's something I'm very much looking forward to. Also, I've been wanting to do a solo Year Zero mini campaign on the channel for quite some time, so it's nice to actually get the chance to be able to do that for once. Okay, the second campaign, so this is the GM'd campaign, is going to be a Mutant Year Zero campaign. Mutant Year Zero is one of my favorite games. It's what got me into Free League as a publisher. I still really love it. I've run an awful lot of it, but this time I'm going to be a player in it. And my good friend Ed, who you'll recognize from as the GM from our Alien campaign and our first Twilight 2000 campaign, he's also been a player in quite a few campaigns on this channel. He's going to be running it, and there are going to be 2 other players besides me. So myself and Chris, who you will recognize from our Alien campaign, she's returning, and we've got a new player, Paul, who will be joining us. So 3 players. That should be really fun. Yeah, I've already talked about campaign length, 90 minutes for the Mutant Year Zero and 30 minutes for the zombie solo game. Extra content, there is some stuff coming up I'm really looking forward to recording. For example, the Rookery is a kind of group of people made up of Warhammer Fantasy roleplay veterans, such as Anthony Law and Andrew Law, and Graham Davis, amongst quite a few others. And they have started producing content for a sort of campaign world called The Coiled Crown. And I'm really excited about this because it's system neutral, the stuff they're producing, so you can kind of use it in the idea is you can use these adventure sites and these adventure campaigns and all the stuff they're going to be creating in the system of your choice. They've released 2 products already. One is out on DriveThruRPG called The Well of Bones, and the second one currently is a Patreon exclusive called Mother Hoarfrost. And it's what I plan on doing is looking at a spoiler-free view of The Well of Bones and how I can tweak Year Zero Mini to run it, because I think it's a really, really good fit. So that's an example of extra content I'll be doing on the channel, as well as things like I want to do an overview of the Symbaroum and the Alien starter sets. I've actually recorded short interviews with creators for both of those back last year, and I just needed to record the actual overviews of the physical products themselves to get those finished. So that's been on the docket for quite a while. But that's an example of some additional content that you'll be able to see on this channel. I want to keep doing interviews and things like that. These will be a bit more spontaneous. I'm not committing to like every Sunday or every other Sunday or every Monday, etc. to be releasing extra content. It's more a case of when I am able to do it, I will be releasing it on any day other than a Thursday. Obviously, Thursdays are earmarked as my actual play days. So yeah, just really wanted to say that there's still extra content coming up. I've got some stuff that I'm planning on looking at, etc. Now, Patreon. I kind of alluded to it earlier when I mentioned that live streams weren't going to be happening, like public live streams anymore. I've made some changes to my Patreon page, and really the kind of what I wanted to talk about with it is I will be live streaming some of my content. So the GMed campaigns will be live streamed for Patreons. The additional content I'm recording will also be recorded for Patreon supporters. And so if you want to watch some stuff live, that's the way to do it. I'm also going to be doing some exclusive live streams for Patreon supporters. Again, ad hoc, spontaneous. I'm not promising it every month or every week or anything like that. But when I've got time and I've got the energy to do it, and I'm not meant to be recording something else, I plan on doing things like in these really long, in-depth dev diaries where it's really just me working live, which some people really have enjoyed watching, but really they get very, very small number of views on the channel. That's going to be an exclusive Patreon thing. They won't be going up on the YouTube channel. I might be doing some more video game actual plays, which I have done in the past right at the beginning of this channel. Inviting some Patreons to watch those live, maybe even to play live with me, and also maybe some hangouts, things like that, where Patreon supporters can kind of come online and we can, I might be doing something in the background, but people can come on and we can have a Zoom call and kind of chat with people. So those are some sort of like live streams or live meetups that I'm planning on doing through the Patreon. My solo campaigns will not be live streamed. There's quite a few reasons for that, but really, doing stuff solo, I have to be in the right mood for it, and it doesn't really work if I've got it scheduled. So I need to keep those pretty flexible and open, and if I have to then send out invites to Patreons to watch live, get the YouTube live stream up and ready to go, potentially have chat on the side working as well. It's a lot of extra steps that can all lead to slowing the momentum for me just jumping in and starting to record and to do the solo stuff. I didn't do any live streaming for the Forbidden Lands solo campaign that I did, so there's no real change here. I just want to make it extra clear that there will be no live streaming for solo content. But Patreon supporters will get access to the live, unedited videos of my solo games within 48 hours of me recording them. So if you do want to see them live and not live, if you want to see them early, that's the way to do it through Patreon. There's a few other benefits coming to Patreon. One big one is the audio podcast. Now, I have been doing an audio podcast of all the actual play content on the channel from the beginning. I did say last year it was a bit of extra work, and I did say I was going to stop doing it because I only had something like 50 to 60 subscribers on the audio podcast. So it seemed like a lot of extra work for potentially a small audience. However, it seems like there is a small but vocal minority who really want it. And I do come from a podcasting background, so I've decided to keep doing it, but as a Patreon exclusive. What that means is when an actual play that's both solo and GM'd goes out for public release, there will be, within 48 hours, there will be an audio podcast version of it going up on Patreon for supporters. This will then be trickling its way out to the public, but there's going to be a big 2 to 3 month gap before it goes out to the public. So really, if you're interested in the audio podcast and you want to listen to it relatively concurrently with when the public are watching the YouTube videos, you'll need to be a Patreon supporter to do that. So there's just a few other small things I don't really want to go into too much detail on with Patreon. You can go and look at the site for yourself and see what they are, but there's things like a monthly Q&A, which Patreons can only ask me questions. When I'm running additional campaigns, I do a poll for Patreon supporters to see which, whether there should be a season 2 of Forbidden Lands or Vaesen or Alien or whatever. So I know a lot of people in comments often say, oh, I'd really love to see a season 2 of this campaign. I can never say for sure it's definitely going to happen. I can only say maybe. It's up to my Patreon supporters to decide what's going to be next. Patreon supporters decided on Mutant Year Zero as the next campaign, so that's why that is the next one. So if you want to have a say in that, you need to be a Patreon supporter. I guess the last thing to kind of quickly mention is I'm planning on doing a lot of game design development this year, and Patreon supporters will get closed playtest documents of the games and things I'm working on. So if you're interested in that side of what I do, then also you need to be a Patreon supporter if you want access. Otherwise, there will still be things like open playtests, like open betas, but they're going to be a lot further down along the line, and there's probably only going to be 1, maybe 2 of them in a product's life cycle. So if you want access to that sort of stuff, then you need to be on Patreon. And that's pretty much it. So I wanted to keep this video short. Looks like I've been just over the 10-minute mark. That's fine. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all the changes that I've just talked about. So if you do have anything that you want to say, please drop them in the comments below, or head over to our Discord channel. We've got a nice lively group going there, and let me know over there. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.